you followed somebody too with something with a bank robbery or something.
Oh, I caught
right?
a bit. Yeah, so in 2000.
Holy shit.
2000. A kid
Really?
Hey, kid coming with a
Batman.
45,
Is
right?
this Bruce Wayne we got here?
Yeah.
Welcome to Cumberland Unfiltered. I'm Gary, and I'm joined tonight by my co-hosts Brad and Jason. And tonight's guest is a native of East Providence. He's married and the father of 5 sons, and he is no stranger to politics. He was a Rhode Island House Representative for District 64 from 2000 to 2005, and an East Providence City Councilman from 2008 to 2010. He is a real estate developer currently working on a big multi-business project redeveloping 6 corners located in East Providence, and he also owns a towing business. He will be running against Rhode Island's current Senate President, Valerie Lawson, to represent Senate District 14. He is endorsed by the League of Rhode Island Business, who only support legislative candidates that back common sense law. Please welcome to the table an all-around good guy, Brian Coogan. Yay.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the invite. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
So we came down from East Providence, and we want to know a little bit about your experience when you were working for District 64 and a city councilman that kind of spurred you on to decide that you want to get back into the game.
So when I first ran, it was actually District 83, and there was 100 reps back then, and then the voters voted to downsize to 75. So I beat one incumbent in District 83. Everybody was against me. My father was a Teamster. Even though I love the Teamsters had to give my opponent the endorsement because she was there first. I get it. But I beat her in a Democratic primary, and I believe she was there. I can't remember if she was there for 12 or 14 years, but she was a fixture. I'm Irish and Italian, and she was Cape Verdean and Portuguese and a woman. So it's like a 3-time minority. Matter of fact, tonight when I leave here, I have to go down to the Cape Verdean Club. Those people always support me. They're always good to me. Even though she was Cape Verdean, they went with me. And then after that, I had to, because they downsized, I had to run in District 64 against a gentleman who was there for 12 years, I believe. And I beat him in a primary. But the same thing, I couldn't get any endorsements because they were both incumbents. So I beat one incumbent, and then because they combined to the districts, I had to run against another incumbent. So the toughest thing in the world is to run as a Democratic primary and beat an incumbent.
For sure.
And then
I was about to say that. That's a feat.
It's hard. It's hard. And at the time, I had no children when I first ran. Now I have 5 boys. So I'm so blessed. 5 healthy children. God couldn't be any better to me than what he has been.
So there's 5 more volunteers you have for this election than you had the last one.
Yeah. My poor kids, and they're busy, but they love me. They said, Dad, we'll go through a firewall for you. So if you need when you need us to walk, because it's hard. It's, there's like 30,000 people in the Senate district. There was like 14,000 in the rep district. Same thing with the city council, about 14, 12. It fluctuates. But they're there going door to door with me, leafleting, whatever it takes.
So but your experience with that was particularly the House seat, as far as what goes on up on the hill up there, as far as how those games are played and all that kind of thing. I mean, you probably got stories about when you were there the first time around, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I just got off the phone with one of the most powerful guys in the state around coming here, and I had to go over that bridge, that harbor bridge that that fell apart. And I'm in the transporter business, so it's very hard to go over that bridge 7 times approximately one way and then 7 times back.
For sure.
But on the way coming over, I had a little time to kill. So on the speaker car phone, I called the former Speaker of the House, John Howard. I don't know if you ever heard of him. My dear friend.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was the Speaker of the House, and I was nobody. And we became so close, and he took a liking to me because I was a no bullshit guy. Can I say bullshit?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. Cumberland Unfiltered, baby.
I was an old bullshit guy. And one time one of the pages came up to me and says, the speaker wants to see you now. I said, all right. So during the session, I go up to the speaker. And I said, what's up, speaker? He goes, sit down. He goes, why are you voting against me? I said, what do you mean? He goes, if I go red, you go red. If I go green, you go green. I said, well, speaker, that bill sucked. I couldn't vote for that. I just couldn't do it. And he took such a liking to me. At the end of every session, he'd invite me up to his office, And I was up there one time with Lincoln Almond, who was the former governor. And then it was also, after that, it was
Was it Kurt Cherry?
Governor Cherry,
Yeah.
you know, and I learned a lot being around the speaker, and other reps would be upset. They're like, why are you on labor? Why are you on corporation? Why are you on the board of directors at RIPTA? Why are you on the Boston Athletic Commission? I said, well, first of all, I don't kiss the speaker's ass. And I didn't. And he speaker say, you ever play hockey? I said, no, hockey's for wimps. Just kidding. It's the toughest sport in the world, right? But I would tell him that, right?
Yeah.
And he took such a liking to me. He would say, yeah, after session, we're going to the Capitol Grill. But being so close to him and watching the different power players come in his office, and I'm there sitting, drinking a Diet Coke, right? They're drinking wine, whatever. So the more they drank, the more I listened. So I got one hell of an education.
you did.
No, I did. Listen, I called him on the way here, and I said, Speaker, I just want to thank you for meeting you in my lifetime. Every time I call you, you answer my call, less than 3 rings. And he goes, Cougs, you're one of my favorite people. Cool. And he's still one of the most powerful people in the state around today. Don't let anybody kid you. John Howard, former Speaker of the House, is the most powerful person, one of the most powerful people in the state of Rhode Island. But I learned a lot. I saw a lot of crazy shit up there.
So you've been there and done that. Now you see all the crazy shit going on now.
I saw it, done it, but I always stay true to myself. And my fiance, she's on the city council. When she first got elected, she says, how do I vote? What do I do? And I said, listen to your people. Listen to your neighborhood. They will let you know. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to when the speaker said, Coogan, what the hell are you doing? You're voting against me? Or I'm voting against that. You won't vote. And I would tell him, Speaker, in my district, this is what my people want. He always respected that. And I told my fiance, she's on the council. She's been there 10 years. And after this term, and she's lucky enough to get back there, which I think she would. She's one of the most popular people in East Providence. Anna Souza, she's the councilwoman. If you listen to your people, they will let you know whether you do something right or wrong.
Yeah. So this is your second run against Val Lawson.
This is my second run. So the first time, the reason I ran, I called her 5 times. And I said, I'm a former state rep, former city councilman. Don't forget, I beat a gentleman that was there. He was the Democratic, and I'm a Democrat. Don't hold it against me. I beat a kid that was there. He was the Democratic chairman of Ward 2. And he had all the big people with him. And I beat him. You listen to your people, they will vote for you. So when I ran against Val, I said, I'm a former state rep, former city councilman. I said, she's not answering my calls.
Yeah.
And there's 2 reasons why I called her. You know, I had my first cousin commit suicide. I had my brother commit suicide.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. And my nephew was talking about committing suicide. He finally ended up doing it. My sister's son. But I was calling her to figure out how can we curb suicide. You know, it's important. It's like 100 people, 120 people roughly a year that commit suicide, whether it's because of drugs, mental health. So I said, let me call my senator, right? First time, no call back. A couple of days later, and I don't want to be a pest. Called, no call back. Call, no call back. A week goes by. I said, wow, she hasn't called me back. I said, let me try again. And I'm like, maybe I got the wrong number. So I call, no. So I want to talk about suicide, and I want to talk about the 195 pigeon shit. Can I say pigeon shit?
Oh, yeah.
Can I say it?
Absolutely.
AJ, is that all right? Pigeon poop. I'm sorry, right? So it was like 1.5 inches thick. And the kids have to walk back and forth to the junior high and elementary school. Then you have the handicap. Then you have some people who don't have electric wheelchair, and they have to use the wheels, right? And they have that chrome handle.
Touching
You know, yeah. So there was dead pigeons there. And when I was a state representative, I had the state put in the styrofoam so the pigeons couldn't sit on the ledge. And that's all I wanted. I wanted to talk to her about suicide. Not that you could probably do a whole lot, but maybe we could have a roundtable discussion. She didn't get back to me. I said, wow, I tried like a month. I had 5 phone calls. Nothing. Crickets. I said, all right. So what did I do? I called the state DOT. I thought I was going to get arrested by the state police. When I say torture, I torture them. I did them everything but tie them up and torture them. The lady hated my guts. But you know what? Finally, they sent the DOT out there to clean it up.
Oh,
and
good.
The lady called me. She goes, Mr. Coogan, they're going to be out there today. I said, what time? She goes, around 10. Mm-hmm. So I went down there and I sat at the Monroe Dairy, Monroe Speedy Muffler Monroe Dairy is where I get my milk.
Yeah, me too.
Monroe Dairy is great milk, right?
Please,
Especially the
great.
coffee milk.
Best milk.
Hey, and the
Those glass
eggnog.
bottles, man.
Oh.
Like, unbelievable.
Forget it. I love the glass. Oh, the eggnog. So, yeah, oh, it's the best.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
the best.
Eggnog is good stuff.
When I was at Monroe, Speedy Muffler, I sat there. The steak guys came. I got on Facebook. I gave them a lot of credit. I thanked them. I couldn't thank them enough. They cleaned up all the pigeon poop. AJ, I don't want you to beat me out. So got it all cleaned up, and they got the grass cut, and they were like, hey, you know what? I said, why is it when I was a rep, you guys couldn't get this done? Like, well, we only do what we're told.
Right.
So I said, wow, Valerie never called me back, and she's soon to be the Senate president. Because, as you know, poor Dominic Ruggiero, great friend of mine.
Yes.
He was on the Senate. I was on the House side. We get along really well. He used to be in the Speaker's office all the time. This is before he even thought about being the Senate president. And now I decided to run against her because she didn't return my call. So the phone rings. It says Val Lawson. Val Lawson. It's like 6
Holy
months
shit.
later.
All of a sudden.
I'm like, hello? She goes, Brian? I said, yeah. She goes, this is Val Lawson. I said, yeah, Val, what's up? She goes, you're running against me? I said, yeah, Val, I'm running against you. Yep, I'm running against you. And my only intention was to put my name in and torture her. She goes, well, is there something that we could work on? Is there some sort of legislation that you want to pass? I said, no, Val, I'm all set. She goes, why are you running against me? I said, Val, I called you 5 times.
Yeah. No respect.
5 times. I said, I could get the most powerful guy on the phone, John. I'll call him right now. That guy will take my call. I said, Val, you're nobody. You're nothing. I said, you can't even return my call. She goes, maybe you had the wrong number. So I said, no, your number's blah, 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 blah. I said, it says Val Lawson. Oh, well, is there any legislation? I said, no, you already asked me that, Val. I don't want to work on nothing with you. I tried to call you. I said, you're my senator. I'm a former state representative. Not that you need to treat me better than anybody else, but a little
respect.
Yeah, a little common courtesy. Because I call people back. I don't care if you're the janitor or the governor.
Yeah.
I carry 3 phones, as you guys saw.
Yep.
3,200 names and numbers in those
Yikes.
phones. I could show you them. And so she's like, oh, please don't run against me. I said, Val, I'm running against you. I said, I'm going to beat you. Now, I had no intentions of actually running hard. I just wanted to put my name in. I didn't put up one lawn sign. I put a couple leaflets in her neighborhood and a couple leaflets in her friends' personal people that, who gets over his leaflet? Just to torture, right? So
Sounds like Jason's race.
yeah. So
I didn't even have leaflets.
oh yeah, right. I didn't put out one sign. I did put a sign on her truck. That was it. She worked all summer. I get a phone call. Well, I'll see if there's any question because then I'll tell you the other half of the story. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything because it.
No.
I got just a question. So the first time you ran, she was not the Senate president.
No, but she wanted to, and she was gonna get it because Pearson,
Yeah.
had asked Dominic, "Hey, can you step aside?" And he was sick. Yeah,
I don't think he asked him.
Bad move, yeah. It was
Yeah.
kind of a...
yeah.
I heard. Everyone heard through the grapevine. He actually had to, we went to his house and said, "Hey, you're dying. Get the hell out of the way."
Well, I'm glad you said I wanted. You're right. So you know better than me.
Well, I don't know. I'm just,
That's what I was told as well.
That was in the
Yes,
news,
that's what I heard,
news
yeah.
story as well. There's-
100%.
so the first time she was not the Senate president, how much more difficult do you think it's going to be to beat her now that she is the Senate president?
Well, I'm constantly on social media calling to do nothing Val. I don't think is it going to be a walk in the park? No, but it's not a secret unless you guys don't know about it. But 195 bridge east and west is out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We had a guy on here who told us about
how bad it is.
We'll have to have you watch that episode.
Yeah, Cody.
He brought receipts. He had everything signed.
Oh, now
they knew about it before.
Well, now they
covered it up.
doctored the reports for 4 years.
Same exact
I saw that on
Inspections.
YouTube. Is that the guy I put on YouTube?
Yeah.
He got an argument with the guys that said they were clearing the debris under the water. They still haven't fully cleared the bottom of the water.
This guy went diving underwater.
Yeah.
This guy did it all. And
He's from another state.
He's a
though, right?
stressful guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. But he was brought in to advise on it or something.
I
Or
think he was from
Bridge
Warwick. Is he
inspector,
from
right?
Warwick? I thought he was from Warwick. Ray Cody.
maybe.
Ray Cody. But he's
Cody. He was the one who pushed for the car tax, right? Relief. Was he the guy? Was
I think it was
out of
him. That
Warwick?
was the out of Warwick. Yeah. And he's the one going around filming people and stuff like that, doing nothing.
Yeah.
But it's he came in and basically said that bridge is ready to fall apart. And he's like, they've done nothing with it.
You know when it's pretty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So just I don't want to get too far off track, but so you had told a story about how you filmed someone in the state government, and you used a word to me that was telling. And you're a Democrat.
Right.
Val Lawson's a Democrat.
Right.
And you used the word nonpartisan. You
Right.
said, is there if I tell the story that you said, or
Yeah, tell the story.
I'll just you can tell it.
comment.
Right? So you said Gabe Almo was actually walking with her.
No.
It was
Dioso, the general treasurer.
Dioso.
Dioso, I'm sorry, Dioso was walking with her, and you said he's supposed to be nonpartisan.
And Greg Amore.
But you're both Democrats.
Right.
So there's a fracture in there. Then if you know what I mean, if they're
Right. And we'll get deeper into the politics. And again, I just want to be clear. So my father was a Teamster for 40 years.
Yeah,
He worked for Hasbro,
oh
right? So the drivers and the forklift drivers were told by Hasbro, the Teamsters, the Brotherhood, listen, Hasbro wants to buy your contract out, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm getting off topic just a little bit, but I'm getting back to the Democrat thing. So they said, but Hasbro wants to buy your contract out, but you guys got to vote on it. This is the Teamsters. You're going to vote on it, which is fine. So my father and the forklift drivers all vote on it. A year later, after the contract, how it was worded, Hasbro moved to Mexico. Who remembers that?
Oh, yeah.
They moved out of Pawtucket,
Yep,
right?
remember that.
So my father was out of work. But my father's the kind of Democrat, he told me, he said, if a dog runs and it's a Democrat, you vote for that dog.
Right.
That's how hardcore my father was a Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember as a kid, when it meant something to be a Democrat and a Teamster and a union person, we used to go to like Indian Ranch, Francis Farm in Rehoboth, Rocky Point, and we should do the egg, run with the egg with the spoon, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
such a feeling as a
Yeah, I
Democrat.
remember that stuff back
You know,
in the day. Yeah.
And
We used to
again,
do that stuff.
yeah, and it was good. It felt good to be a Democrat. I didn't know it then, but I know it as I got older. So people are like, hey, how come you don't switch to an independent? How come you don't switch to a Republican? I said, well, I'm a Democrat, but I'm like an independent Democrat, you know. And I think of my father all the time, and it probably would break his heart if I switched to anything else.
for sure.
And but the Democrat Party today is not Val Lawson's the Democratic
Yeah,
Party.
yeah.
You know, she wants you to have $1 million insurance policy to carry a gun.
Yeah.
So back to
Probably wants men and women's bathrooms, too. I'm sure.
right, and I'm a common sense Democrat. I could work with Republicans, I could work with independents, and I could work with Democrats, obviously. So I'm more of an independent Democrat. But back to the nonpartisan. So what happened was my friend, he's like, hey, Coogan, you got to get over here. I said, why? What? He says, up in Rufford, you got Greg Amore, the Secretary of State.
yeah.
Secretary of State.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
Who's in charge of elections?
Charge of elections, right? Supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah.
He says,
Nonpartisan, non-biased, both.
Yes.
yeah,
100%.
you got that little scrawny guy with the fake white teeth. I said, who's that? He goes, I don't know. The kid with the hair part of the side, he looks like he's fake and got some bow tie. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, they're on my doorbell ring. So I fly over to Rumford. And I was with my son, Ashton. I have 5 boys. I was with my second son down. And we're in a dump truck. I just got done helping him. And I see Greg Amore, Val Lawson, and Dioso, the general treasurer. And I said, oh, that's my friend, man, with the fake white teeth and the bow tie. Dioso, right? And he looks like he's 12 years old. He's a cute little kid. I like him. I do. I'm like, he's a cute little kid. So I jump out of the truck, and Val Lawson, she just put her head down. She couldn't get it. She was like a cockroach trying to get away. I said, where you going, Val? Right? But I put the camera on Greg Amore because my heart was broke. Here you are. You're the Secretary of State, supposed to be the most impartial person. And you're on state time. You got a state SUV. You got 2 state workers. It's before 4 o'clock. This was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh.
So let's not bullshit anybody.
Get
Can I say
paid by the
bullshit,
state.
AJ? Can I say bullshit? I don't want to get in trouble over here. So I see Greg Amore, you got the state truck, and then you got Dioso, right? The general treasurer. He's, because I put the camera in all their faces, and I said, why you two working with my opponent? So I went live on Facebook. I got over 100,000 views.
oh my gosh.
John DePietro picked it up. Other media picked it up. But just on my page, it got 100,000 views.
Wow.
You can't find that video today.
No,
It's
you
somewhere on YouTube.
Fucking buried
I
it.
think I got on a like fat Secretary of State. Can I say that? AJ? Of course. Right? Greg Amore's my size. I'm fat, right? I say fat's in everybody's win. But no, I said, you're the Secretary of State. I said, Greg, what are you? He goes, well, And so then I put the camera on Dioso. I said, why are you here with the state vehicle and 2 state workers? And he was, you know, he couldn't even speak. He really couldn't. And I felt bad because he's a cute little kid and I like him. So then I see on the corner of my eye, I see Greg Amore take Val Lawson, Senator Val Lawson, take the lapel stick and throw it on the ground. So I put the camera back to Greg. I said, Greg, you threw that lapel stick up pretty quick. He goes, oh, it fell. So he picks it up. I think he split his pants. I'm not sure. No, it's true story. I think he split. Jay, can I say that? No, I think he split his pants. And because when he left, he walked backwards. Either split his pants or shit his pants. I don't know. So I said, Greg, you got rid of that sticker off real quick, right? He goes, oh, it fell off. I said, yeah, okay. And he puts it back on. I said, Greg, you're the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
And I know I joke around a lot, but when it comes down to business, you're the Secretary of State. You're not supposed to get involved in elections.
Yeah, right.
And
Exactly.
he didn't know what to say. So then I ran into him at the Italian Corner Deli. Is that giving someone a
Plug.
Can I say that,
Give him a
AJ?
plug, yeah.
AJ's like, hey, everything goes over here. So I'm in the Italian Corner
We're
Deli.
gonna voice you over anyways.
Yeah. I'm in the Italian Corner Deli, and I see Greg Amore, Secretary of State. And he's a big guy. He's like me.
Yeah.
But he went through all the chairs and table. He come over, shook my hand. And I said, Greg, I could ask you one question. Why, as a Secretary of State, why would you support my opponent? You run the elections for the state of Rhode
You
Island.
shouldn't be supporting anybody. You
You
should be
should
staying
stay
right
out
down
of
the
it.
middle, yeah.
He's like, well, he goes, hey, she should thank you. You're like, he didn't want to talk about that. I said, why is that, Greg? Why should she thank me? She goes, she lost 30 pounds because of you, Brian. I said, what?
All that walking?
He goes, you give, and I swear, stack of Bibles. He said she had sleepless nights.
No way.
She lost 30 pounds. I said, why is that? He goes, well, she went door to door. I said, no, Greg, I didn't put out one sign. I said, why would she go door to door? Why were you guys all involved in her ganging up on me? He says, Brian, you're the biggest name in East Providence. And he said that right from his mouth. He says, you are the biggest name in East Providence. And come to find out, she spent $100,000 against me. I spent like $5.
And you didn't do anything.
And I didn't do
you didn't do anything.
I didn't put out one sign. I put a couple leaflets out around her house, around Greg Amore's house, right? Oh shit, Coogan's over here leafleting, you know. She spent $100,000, and the video went viral.
That's awesome.
And then there was 2 teachers said, "Oh my God, look!" And they show Val Lawson, right? She got I think a Budweiser light in her hand. Budweiser. She had a light, Budweiser light. And they made this little video, cute video. Was, oh, look at her. Oh, she spent $100,000. And then they put a picture of me, right? Good looking guy that I am. They said, oh, look at him. He only spent $5,000. And that took off like crazy. But then they got a lot of pressure to take it down. Then I had teachers calling me and say, you punked off Greg Amore? I said, I don't know if you call punking off. I said, but I was a little disappointed. I had to call him out.
Gotta call him
So
out,
that's who Brian Coogan is. Brian Coogan will call you out. I may not be right, and if I'm wrong, I will apologize. But I'm a common sense guy. I can work with anybody. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. And I felt the Secretary of State, Greg Amore, should not be walking with my opponent. I mean, am I that much of a threat?
That's a complete conflict of interest, if you ask me.
Total conflict
The
of
problem is if you'd have sent that up to the Ethics Commission, they would have been like, "Oh, not enough evidence."
Right.
Even with the video,
Because they're handpicked. They're handpicked.
We've had to see it.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason.
We sent stuff up to them with video and with everything, and here's the contract, the behind closed doors backroom contract. You know, where the person is acting as her own advocate for her own contract.
Who's now the planning director somehow.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no evidence. But the other question I wanted to, not question, but statement I wanted to say is the other night we were at a local establishment. You know, I'm sure you have one in East Providence where everybody bumps into everybody. We have one here. You know, it rhymes with hops.
Oh yeah, that's where everybody goes.
So I'm on a school committee. I went to me and another friend of mine. We go out after school committee meeting done, whine a little bit, and kind of talking. And we know most of the people that come in. And one of the people that came in was somebody that I am diametrically opposed to on all the views, but we're still friends. Her husband's an Army vet. I get along with her husband. She's on the school committee. And she was saying to me, she said, there's never been an instance in a Democratic primary where somebody has lost with the union support against an incumbent. And I said, well, you know, it is what it is, you know, because we have a challenger here, a Democratic challenger for the primary to Ryan Pearson, who we spoke about a little while ago. And she said, no, it's an uphill battle. He's never going to win. I said, maybe not this election. I said, but the League of Rhode Island Businesses, who's backing this candidate, is
Who's also backing me.
who's backing you. I said,
I
I said they're here to stay. And what you said just now makes perfect sense.
The common sense part.
No, not the common sense spot. This is an every 2-year race.
Oh yeah.
Val Lawson spent $100,000 2 years ago.
100%.
She spends $100,000 this year, and even if you lose and you go against her the next year, the next election rather, she spends $100,000. They can't get their pot up. They can't move forward. So these progressives, these crazy left wingers,
Looney birds. Yeah.
cannot move up. You know what I mean? And other conservatives who are not getting somebody to run against them every single primary and every single general. So even if you lose the primary, and they in the Republican Party who's in disarray, and we talked about this with Jessica De La Cruz.
Yeah.
The Republican Party is not building a bullpen. In Cumberland, there's probably 20 people that go to the meetings if you're lucky.
Right.
The Republican Party, there's over 100. There's 95 or 93 members of the Democratic Town Committee. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if they can manage to get a candidate, now she's got to spend $100,000 running against you.
She's gonna spend more.
Yeah, more this time because you're
Yeah,
because
you're right.
you're going
Work this time,
to
yeah.
work this time. But then she's got to spend the money in the general, you know, months after that. So if she's got to do that every 2 years, if these candidates that keep voting the wrong way, non-common sense, you know, like Brad said, men and women's bathrooms, no parental rights in the schools, you know, gun bans on everything. Now you're a felon because you have a gun to protect your family in your house. Now you're a felon.
Insane.
They keep voting like that, then the league keeps getting funds and keeps putting people against them, and they've got to spend this money. Then they can't have a war chest of $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 because eventually their donors are going to be like, my God, I just gave you $2,000 the last election. Oh, you need another two? Oh yeah, of course I do. I they're coming for me again. You know, Ryan Pearson hasn't had a primary challenge ever. I don't think
2012.
he had a
long time ago.
primary challenger in
Yeah.
2012.
2012. Long time ago though.
So I mean, I don't know how big your audience is, but and I hope it grows. But for the people at home that are watching this, I just stopped at the Shell station. This was $3.09,
Whoa,
For one bottle.
one bottle.
should be $1.
I remember it used to be $1, right? Like $1.07.
Not too long.
I remember the 2-liter bottles for like $2.20. I mean,
Yeah.
$1.29.
Oh yeah.
I remember a gallon of milk was like $1.25. And I'll never forget because I dropped a gallon of milk and I broke it. My father wanted to kill me. I'll never forget that.
You'll never forget that.
I'll never
what
forget
it cost
that.
for that because
Oh yeah,
make you.
oh yeah.
pay
Try
when you
to dropping a handle of vodka. See
But Sakachi's the Speaker of the House. I like him. He's a Democrat, good guy, and he's got a tough balance because he's trying to balance the progressive, the regular Democrats, the Republicans.
Was-
He's got a tough balance, but this costs $3.09. He's got $4 million in his war chest. Sakachi, the Speaker of the House. So what does a rep who's elected the Speaker of the House need $4 million?
Oh yeah. No.
They talk about housing. They talk about mental illness. They talk about the bridge. You got all these major Democrat people, and I don't want to mention their names because some of them are my friends, but some of them are making $400,000 running crossroads. And people are living out in the street. And I'll throw David Cicely under the bus. I mean, he's short. He might not get hit. What's he making, like $800,000?
$775. I saw it today.
$775.
For the Rhode Island.
Shit.
Yep.
Let's call it $1 million. And you got people
It's robbery.
that are dying. I mean, Providence in the storm, people died, right? During the 90 degrees.
yeah.
He has no kids. He's not married. Does he need $800,000?
No.
It's almost criminal. Sorry, David. I like you. I've known you a long time. But he left Congress.
Well, like less than two, right? Less than 200,000 to be a congressman.
I think it's
like,
175.
something in there.
175,
Something like that.
yeah,
I'm not
right.
sure. And just so the people at home know, I don't know all the numbers, but I know most of them.
Yeah.
It's come close.
Our budget is $14 billion in the state of Rhode Island.
Insane.
And from what I understand, from the political people I talk to, and your Senate President, do nothing Val Lawson, she don't care. They're just gonna roll it to the next cycle.
The can, huh?
Yeah. I don't think she actually said that.
But
Yeah, she doesn't care about the money. She just wants to get her agenda passed.
right. It's a Democratic state.
Yeah.
And I could rattle off 12 names and 12 different departments in the state of Rhode Island that are making over $250,000. And then they want us to say, I know what you're going through. I know how much groceries
Yeah,
for.
my
I'm
right.
fighting
Yeah.
for you. I'm
Yeah.
fighting
Yeah,
for you.
100%.
I'm fighting for you. You know what? If AJ wasn't here, I'd throw a sign up. But I got to tell you something. These people are making well over $250,000, and these
They can't get by.
nonprofits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if we the taxpayers didn't
nonprofits.
put that money there,
Non-profits.
they couldn't tie their shoes. They couldn't go out. I have 5 boys.
Yep.
I've done very well for myself. I own property. I own few
You work,
things.
but you work at
But I
it. You're
work.
not
Look at
handed-
my
you're not-
hands.
You're not handed it.
I could show you my call log. I carry 3 phones for the people you don't know. I have 3,200 numbers. But my company that I have is, I'm in the transportation business. I'm in the towing business. I went out the other night, 11 o'clock at night, and you can go to my Facebook, Coogan, Mr. EP, and I put the video on there of the guy had a bolt in the tire. He called every tow company in the state of Rhode Island. Nobody would call. I was the only guy, and it's on my Facebook. I'm a doer. Let's get it done.
Yep.
You know, I like to joke around, have a good time, but at the same time, I tell my kids, words are cheap. Action's a lot of than words. So when I gotta take a sip, I got an itchy throat.
That's when you said you asked earlier why we started the podcast, and it was because it was the same reason Brad ran for mayor, and we recruited a lot of candidates to run.
Tired of.
Was because you think that this only happens at the state level. No, it happens
Oh, town level.
at the town level, everywhere. Everyone.
There's no There's no accountability anymore. It's like
Well, you have a Senate president who just had a fundraiser, and he's a great guy. I like him, but again, you can be diametrically opposed to somebody and like them as a person.
Senate president. You talk about council president.
I'm sorry, council president. Council president.
We know what you meant.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a deal where we had our solicitor was making 120 grand. He got up there and he said, you know, if this doesn't work out and it costs us more, we're going to revisit it. They never revisit anything.
No.
He's making,
That's the brush off.
So our legal bills go from $176,000 to $476,000
Exactly.
for 4 years.
It's higher now, I bet you
I
dollars.
can't wait to pull this year's.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
you know, and where are you? You know, you said in that meeting, if this doesn't save the town money, it's just supposed to save us 40 grand because they didn't have to give her fringe benefits.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay for the health care.
Benefits, health
and all
care,
this
and all
stuff.
that shit.
And it was going to go from $120,000 down to like $80,000. Yeah, 460, 470. It's ridiculous. You know, we have people on the emergency contact list to do work. They repaired one water leak over 4th of July
It
weekend.
was like 30 feet long.
It was like 30 feet long, 20 or 30 feet long, $375,000, and nobody audited it. They just paid it out. You know, like where's the
No
you know,
bids.
No, yeah, no bids, no audit, just paid it out. We just had the same contractor do. He helped out. He wasn't even one of the contractors for the schools. He helped out the guys who were contracted to do the schools. The guy who was actually contracted to do the schools charged $20,000. He charged $80,000. We got to pay it, and a lot of that was town property because. You know,
But that's like kindergarten stuff. I'm gonna tell you why.
but kindergarten,
You've seen worse than that, right?
kindergarten stuff for a Cumberland budget is you know it's a little bit more.
Everything is
emphasized.
relative.
And you know what?
Relative.
It's not kindergarten stuff because whether it's $1 or $100 million, mismanagement is mismanagement. When you blow the taxpayers' money, and I wasn't downplaying that. You're right.
No, I wasn't saying you were.
When you
I'm just
look,
saying, you know,
when you look at
it.
195, the bridge, right?
Yeah.
The tow guys, $7 million.
Yeah, it's a si-
Yeah, I
it's-
saw
it's
that.
on
Per
the
year.
side of
I
it,
saw
right?
that.
$7
Unbelievable.
million.
Just sit
It's
the
the
side of
same
the
company,
road.
right? It's not more than one company,
Just
right?
sit the side of the road.
I'm in the towing business. They wouldn't give me the contract. I applied.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't help me. I'm the
wonder why.
guy. I'm the guy in East Providence. Don't you think I should be on that bridge?
Yeah, you think so? You're
Yeah,
right
I get a
there.
piece of that.
Then you got Valley Towing. He's a minority. He has to be on. Crickets. It's like you can't get a response back. Not a problem. But $7 million. Now let's talk about the state police. How much have we spent on them? Does anybody know
Oh,
that number?
yeah. That was a big number.
millions and millions of dollars. Then you got the local cops, right? And I'm pro police, pro fire. I've always been. You know, if you watch 9/11, people are running out, police and fire running in. We lost a lot of good men and women. So I'm pro police and fire. East Browns police, they get like $85 an hour to stand there.
Is that what they get?
Yeah, so I don't know what the numbers are, but if the tow guys, 4 of them get $7 million, how much have we paid for police? Whether it's local police, I know that someone asked the man. They says, "Well, it is what it is. It's like the cost of doing business. Somebody's got to pay it." He brushed it off. But when this is 309, you know, and I have 5 children, I'm paying my mortgage, my insurance, my taxes.
Which has
my
all
kids
gone up.
Which is 2 of my kids went to LaSalle, right?
Yep.
2 out of 5 of my kids went to LaSalle, right? You help them get cars, you put them on your insurance, they're a part-time driver, and then your rates go through the roof because they're a new driver. So I live in reality. You know, my opponent has no kids. She always got a paycheck from the taxpayers of East Bronx. 'Cause as a school teacher, which I love.
She was a school teacher?
She was a school teacher. Now she's what, the president of the
Yeah, I want to
union?
know about that.
Talk about
yeah.
conflict of interest.
Yeah, again, you said it best. You know, they says, "Oh, no big deal." The ethics commission. You know why? Because that deck is stacked. She gets $160 a year, and because you're the Senate president, and then she gets, I think it's $30,000 for being a senator with the medical package. So let's call it $200,000. She has no kids, and she's not a reality. I'm a reality guy. That's why I'm running. And if people want me, and you know, when I say I feel your struggles, I'm not like Sheldon Whitehouse. I feel your pain.
Mr. Silver Spoon.
Yeah, Mr. Silver Spoon, and all these politicians who really.
This is what you get.
And I get insulted. I get so mad when I see them on TV. Oh, the price of groceries, I'm with you. And they belong to country clubs, and Sheldon Whitehouse belongs to a country club with no minorities. And
That's
you know,
right.
they're so out of whack and so out of touch. But we, as Rhode Islanders, have to understand, and thank God for you guys, and thank you for having me on, because when I tell you people at home, it's nothing but the truth. I'd never lie to you. But you got to get off your ass and say, you know, enough is enough.
100%.
By
Yeah,
voting,
that's-
right?
that's-
By voting.
Yeah.
By voting.
That's what has to happen.
And you know, they're saying the new party is the no party, right?
Yeah.
Not Republican, not Democrat, independent. So I have 5 boys. They're independent. They don't want to be a Democrat. They don't want to be Republican, which is fine. I would never tell them what to do. They all have their own identity.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on. But go
No,
ahead.
you can't run as an independent is the problem because
No support.
there's 30% of the people that in Cumberland that just go in there and they just click the lever of their party, maybe even more. And we
Then they
saw-
shouldn't
But
cry
that- but
about
that's-
taxes.
That's
They
right.
shouldn't cry about their roads.
Yeah,
They
right,
shouldn't
exactly.
cry
Oh,
about their
oh,
water
I
bill,
would
their
agree.
sewer bill. So you people get off your ass, whether you like me telling your face or not. Go vote. Vote
vote.
the same people. You know what? They're like career politicians.
They are.
You know, it's the same thing, and they pass it down the bloodlines. You got that guy Bob Craven, who used to be a state rep. He beat his wife. He was going to run for attorney general. Now he's got his kid running.
His kids running.
His kid's
Yeah,
running
saw that.
for rep. No, you know what? Push aside. We already had enough of your era.
Yep. Exactly.
Let someone new
Move
come
on.
in.
new bloodlines.
And again, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I just speak my mind.
The good old,
Yeah.
good old
Definitely
way that way.
insanity, right? We keep bringing the same people back in there, expecting it to be a
See, the same results.
We can't vote the same way and expect the same different results. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's
As they go, right?
But like,
Yeah.
like I say, I've said this a bunch of shows, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but I agree with some Democratic values, and I agree with some Republican values.
So do I.
The difference is, if you're a Republican, you say, "Hey, I'm not pro-life. I am, case by case basis." They're probably gonna be, all right, let's talk about it. If you say that, you're not pro-choice to a Democrat, they go off their fucking rocker. You're like, whoa, and there's almost no give there. Like 100%, I was in the military. When they did
Thank you for serving.
You're welcome. Well, when they did Don't Ask, Don't Tell was when I was joining back in the early '90s. I didn't have a problem with that. There were so many people that had, even Democrats that had a problem with that. Bill Clinton was the one who did Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Instead of just allowing gays in the military, he did Don't Ask, Don't Tell back then. I didn't have a problem with that. So that way, socially, I'm more of a liberal. I'm more of a Democrat. So, but can I run as a Democrat? People will bring up all the shit that I don't agree with the Democrats on, border security. I agree with if you're illegal in this country, you should be removed from this country. All that I'm an Army guy. I'm all about security. I've been deployed to different countries. I've been on their borders, protecting their country. Why the hell aren't we protecting our own borders?
What branch you in?
Army.
Okay.
But if I said that, I would get ostracized. Like we had Vanessa Lopez here, who was a Democrat. She was a hardcore Democrat, did all the protests, and she said, well, she disagreed with some of the stuff BLM stood for, and she got ostracized and ridiculed, and people turned against her. She said, wait a minute, that was one thing. The other 95% of the shit I still agree with, but that was one thing. But they were intolerant, completely intolerant. The problem is, you can't have an opposing view and come in as an independent, because that machine has so much of the vote. That machine is 30% of the vote either way. You know, like we saw people come in when I was holding the Brad Dean sign. He had hundreds of signs all over town. I hold the Brad Dean sign, and it says right on it, Brad Dean for mayor. And they would ask me, oh, who's that? Who's he? What's he running for? I'm like, you had to pass 90 signs to get here. You know, but they were not educating themselves.
There's a large percentage of people who don't pay attention.
And Brad, what you spend like 80 grand almost?
72. Yeah.
$72,000. $72,000 in the town of Cumberland. And there were probably over 50% of the people that had no idea what the candidate stood for or anything.
I'm gonna say it's close to like 80%.
Maybe.
I have no idea. Have no idea what's going on in their own backyard.
Yeah.
And the problem is, those are the people that don't answer the door when you knock. So it's like even a ground game in that scenario. It's like I can see the guy. I'm looking through his window, watching him watch TV. And he's the guy I need to talk to, but he don't answer the door.
Yeah.
So it's like, you try and get to that point. So that's why like the league, which I aligned with over a year or so ago now.
The league is the best. That's
I love it because they're nonpartisan. And they keep trying to make them partisan online. But they're nonpartisan. They support the right guy for the job, which is why they're supporting you. And it's common sense driven and constitutional. Let the Constitution be a guide, right?
Right. So the people that I met in the league, there are Republicans, there's Democrats and independents.
Yeah.
And I was so amazed and so shocked to see Republicans, Democrats, and independents get together. The league, I got to tell you, I think that's the new beacon.
I do too.
And I think the league is going to put this state back on track, you know?
They're making big waves right now.
You know, so I had this conversation with someone the other day about Dan McKee. He was down in the polls, right? When he ran. He was way down.
Yep.
I mean, he was under the table. He was so low. But what happened was the mail-in ballots and the drop-in ballots, right? That's the dirtiest game ever.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a registered voter and you want your vote to count, hey, which game am I looking at? Oh, that one there? All right. So if you want your vote to count, walk your ballot in if you're going to drop it off. Don't put it in the drop box. Because if you put it in the drop box, they, in my opinion, if you look at the different races of people that lost and the people that won,
Yep.
and when you look at the polls and the polling straight on, what happens to that ballot, the drop-in box ballot? And what they do is they don't have it go through the mail, so there's no mail fraud. So McKee's down at the bottom, and I actually like Dan McKee. I got no problem with Dan McKee. Maybe a little bit. But anyways, I'm just trying to be nice, but I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. He was way down, as you all know, down in the polls, and he lost. And then the drop-in ballots came in, and the mail-in ballots came in. And Jesus, you thought he was winning presidency, you know, like holy cows, he was way down, and overnight he got more votes than anybody.
Yeah.
How does that work?
We had that.
We had that with me.
Yeah, and everyone told us.
The mail-ins killed me.
We had people coming from
The
the
mail-ins
Democratic.
are vicious.
We had people come from the Democratic Party. We had people come from the Republican Party come over to our campaign. He was an independent. Like I said, tough to be an independent. You have to have a team. You're like the third team, you know. And they told us you have to get good at ballot harvesting. And we
Yes.
we were like, so true. But we were like, that's dirty. We don't want to do that. Guess what? Got murdered.
We should have done it.
Got murdered when all
should have done
those
it.
ballots came in from the, you know.
And so I'm out in the public eye every day, all day. That's what I do. I'm in the public. So when I'm out in the public every day and I go to the breakfast place and the coffee shops and you ask, you know, after the election and you listen to the majority of people, oh, I didn't vote for that person. I didn't vote for that person.
Yeah,
and then
how'd you get in there?
How'd they get in?
Yeah.
That drop early voting stuff is very dangerous.
I agree.
It's very,
I just
there's no
line up
way.
and wait my turn and get it done and know it's done
Walk
right.
in there and hand the freaking thing, put it right in the machine.
Nobody is police. The best thing, if
the
you really
machines
want
over
your
there.
vote to count and not get canceled, whether you vote for me, vote against me, whether you vote for someone else in another part of the state, Cumberland, West Warwick, don't be so lazy. Election day, go to the polls, because that's pretty accurate. They can't mess with those machines, you know? That computer, you can't tell them, oh, geez, my guy's losing. Oh, hey, computer, let's switch numbers. You can't do it. I got a friend of mine. She ran for school committee twice. She blew everybody out of the water. She was a winner. She woke up a loser.
Mm-hmm.
after the drop-in ballot boxes at the front of the city halls and the
Mailing
town
things.
halls.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they're throwing ballots away. I don't know what they're doing, but something's happening. So if you really want to vote, when you really go vote, election day, go
Show
vote.
up.
Don't ask for a mail-in ballot. You got all day to vote.
Yep.
You know, go vote. Go vote. If you want your vote to count, if you want your potholes fixed, if you want the right woman or man for the job, and you vote for them, a lot of people are getting robbed out of their elections. It's funny. The reason I ran, I'll tell you guys why I ran. So I ran. It was 1999. I was newly married. I had no kids at the time, and I went to my rep, and I said, hey, can you sponsor me? I want to be a sheriff. Because it's, you know, I try to be a sheriff, and everybody says, hey, you have to get something political. I was like, all right, this is how I first going to do this to politics. So she goes, nah, you got to go get yourself one of those Italian Godfather, something like that. I said, really? So I put my name in against her, and I put out 500 signs. My friend called me and says, hey, if you drop out of the race, this was on a Wednesday. If you drop out of the race, you go down tomorrow, get fitted for a uniform, a sheriff's uniform. Friday, you pick it up. Monday, you'll be working. That's a God's honest truth.
No kidding.
That's a God's honest truth. And I said, nope. And I don't want to mention the person's name, but it's a very powerful person. I had to meet with them. They said, kid, just drop out of the race. You're going to be a sheriff.
That's all you wanted.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And then I started saying, you know what? What does a state rep do? Oh, you pass legislation, you make laws. Again, my brother had committed suicide when I was 17 years old. He hung himself on the front porch.
Yikes.
You know, I had a tough life. My mother and father were alcoholics. My mother was a waitress at the 1025 Club. You guys are probably too young for that. Remember the 1025 Club in Providence?
Say, is that the one?
It was like the running factory. It was like
over by Federal Hill, over the side of it there.
down Silver Lake.
Yeah. Okay.
And my father was a Teamster. But things were different then. You used to drive drunk, didn't wear a seatbelt in the back seat as kids. Things were totally different. Today, it's different. So I started checking into it. I said, well, you know what? I think I could be a legislator. So I put my name in against her. And they says, my own friends were laughing at me. You're never going to beat her in a Democratic primary. I said, why? What's the big deal? Oh, they were laughing in my face. And you know what? My friend told me one time, John Broccoli, he goes, it's like eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Eventually you eat it all,
Get
right?
elected.
Right? So what I did is I went, knocked at every door. How you doing? I'm Brian Coogan. I'm running for state rep. Do you have any questions or concerns? And then I learned what my district was looking for, what they wanted, what they didn't want. And they took a liking to me. And this lady was a woman. She was a Cape Verdean woman. I beat her in the primary.
No kidding.
So the day I won, the Teamster truck shows up, you know. They got another check for me.
Brian,
Everybody's my friend. You know, I couldn't believe it. I was high as a kite on just the
Adrenaline.
it was
going.
it was like short up in the air, you know. I didn't have so many friends. At first, when the numbers would come in, it was probably about 30 of us there. By the night, it was like 400 people.
Oh shit.
Running over. Speaker John Howard called me. He goes, hey, elected rep. I said, who's this, John Howard? Yeah, I'm all set. Hung up the phone.
Now you're buds, right?
Right? Now we're best of friends.
Yeah.
So, but what a high that is. And you know what? If you have a son or a daughter, a mother or father, and you think that person is a good person and can make a difference in this state, have them run. Encourage your kid to run. Encourage your mother, your father.
Yes.
I don't care who it is. If they have common sense and they're a good person and they get the best interests of the public, say, Ma, that'd be a good place. Or son, you know, run. So it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's actually the most easiest thing. You go up there, and with common sense.
It's pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. Now, if you're going up there, like a lot of them go up there, so get their kids jobs, their wife a job at the registry,
Oh, yeah.
their son on the state police, their other son at the prison, or DEM.
A lot of that.
You know, do us a favor, stay home, don't bother running.
Are you still doing that kind of stuff up there?
It still goes on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the people in the Democrats who hold these committee chairs of Crossroads, and they're making $400,000.
Yeah, the
And
nonprofit people.
And I like Gordon Fox. He went to prison for taking a bribe, right? A check for $37,000. He went to prison. Now he's making like $250,000. I think he's part of Crossroads.
Oh, is he working
Oh, no
Crossroads?
way.
I think
Yeah,
that's
he's
what
on
he's
that
working. Yeah, and I like Gordon. I'm not dogging him, but really. So if this is the people you want, and thank God for guys like you with the podcast and the league and social media and TikTok, and guys like Joe Rogan to open our eyes. And I start to see more and more people who want to be an independent. I say it all the time. I look at the numbers, right, in these problems. Whoa, Democrats are losing a lot of people becoming independents. I feel like the new party is the independent party. That's my own opinion.
No,
No, I agree.
It's unaffiliated.
Unaffiliated.
We'd
Yeah.
like it to be. That's for
100%.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what we've been.
100%.
You know, that was me. I was a Democrat when I was a kid. I was a Republican when I got back from Afghanistan, and then I back and forth. Now I'm unaffiliated. You know, because if you want to vote for somebody in a Democratic primary, you have to be unaffiliated.
You know, thank you for bringing that up. So you go in as an independent, and don't get tricked, people at home, people that watch this. You go in, they give you a yellow ballot. If they think for any reason you're going to vote,
Oh, they put them in a separate pile or something.
yeah, what they'll do is, you voting? Oh yeah, I'm going to vote Brian Coogan or whoever. Oh yeah, you're an independent. Yeah, here's a yellow ballot, so you go vote Republican. You go on there and you look, I'm not on there. If they just feel like you're not going to vote for Val Lawson, whatever, they kind of stare you a little
No
bit.
kidding.
Yeah. And then if you don't disaffiliate when you walk out the door, now you're a registered Democrat or registered Republican. You have to disaffiliate. And then I got other people, I don't want to vote in the primary. I don't want to be a Democrat, Republican. I'll see you in the general. Listen, if you don't go to the prom, you can't dance.
Oh, yeah, right.
So if I don't make it to the general, I'm out, So it's important that people become independents, and however they vote, I don't care how you vote, vote for me, vote against me, just come out and vote, and don't forget to disaffiliate on the way out the door, because that's a dirty
100%.
trick. That's a dirty trick they pull too.
Well, I want to know a little bit more about her in terms of how she got that job that she got. I mean, as far as you were saying,
I don't. Well,
you don't know the
Lawson?
yeah, because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense that she could even be allowed to hold that position, because it's, to me, it clear
Total
conflict
conflict of interest.
we should talk about how so unethical it is.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly.
It's so wrong. My opponent, she makes $160,000. It's so unethical that she has that union job. They went before the ethics commission. They said, no big deal.
How the hell was that not a big deal?
It's a big deal to me. It's so unethical. But the other reason why I'm running is, one, I do know the struggle. I have 5 boys. Thank God they're healthy. I paid for private school I paid for one finished, and then the last one's finishing up. But now he wants to go to Westfield. It's $28,000. So how do I pay that? So my ex-wife and I, who we get along really, really well, we're figuring out, how do you pay $28,000, and then his car insurance, back and forth.
Because everything's through the roof.
Right. So my opponent doesn't have
that overhead, as you would call it, right?
She's raking in $200,000.
All the awareness of it.
Yeah, but you're making her spend 100,000 of it to whip your rear end. So at least you're knocking her down halfway.
So reality is, she's out of reality. She's out of touch with the people. I am. I struggle with mortgages, insurances. My tow truck insurance is $22,000 a year. You know how many tows you have to do?
A lot.
God.
For $22,000? Then you have tires, you have fuel, you have wear and tear.
Fuel.
You're
Gonna have tolls pretty soon if
tolls.
they get there. Right?
That's another thing. I'm against tolls. I live in East Providence, where most of my business is over the bridge, whether it's Warwick, Cranston, Providence. This morning I was going over the bridge. It was all backed up. So I had to go to the east side. I said, I'm a genius. I'm going to go to the east side. But then a bunch of other geniuses said, hey, I'm going to the east side too. So the Henderson Bridge was backed all the way up to Mass I said, I probably should have took the helicopter, right? But seriously, the 195 bridge is such a mess. And you have these buffoons, running the show. And I went
No sense of reality.
over the winter. I missed the blizzard. My son's calling me, Dad, the blizzard. I said, well, I had the blizzard of 78. This one's yours. But I go every year to Daytona because
Oh, do you?
I ride a Harley, And they put up bridges, boom, boom, up and over the freeway. It's what they're doing but here's East Providence, right? In Providence and the state, they still haven't cleaned the bottom of the bay to set the piers in, and I don't think they have a total understanding what kind of bridge they're going to put in. Is it going to be a double? It's a mess. But one thing you said that I learned a lot of things up the State House. And let me tell these people at home, AJ, is it that camera or that camera? Right there? Because I don't want to look like I'm cross-eyed when the camera's in the wall. You're drinking Diet Coke. And I'm drinking Diet Coke, right? So the best is no matter, and you guys can relate to this. Here's the biggest scam in the state of Rhode Island. Gonna put it for a study. $100,000. We need a crosswalk
Bring
here.
in some consultants. or
Right?
something
Bring
like
consultant studies. And here we are, we're getting ripped off legally. And you're like, geez, $14 billion and we can't get anything done. There's no money. Yeah, because the studies and the payroll, and friends and family get jobs all over the place and getting $250,000, $300,000. They bring in lawyers, legal teams, legal law firms, lobbyists. We're getting robbed and you don't even know it. You're like, oh, $14 billion in the state of, and they, do we need a crosswalk on, what's the route out here? Is this amazing?
Oh, Diamond Hill.
Diamond Hill. Do we, $100,000 to have a company say, nah, you don't need a crosswalk. A kindergarten could say, we don't need a crosswalk.
That exact
there.
issue came up.
So our town right now, currently over the past, 3 years, every month, Mendon Road, waterline break, waterline break, waterline break. People live in the state complaining about brown water. They can't do their laundry because it ruins their clothes. And it's like, you know what their big freaking thing they came out with? We're going to do a study to make sure. It's like the water lines are 100 years old. You need to replace the freaking water lines. I can tell you that. I don't need a study that costs $115,000 to tell me that I need to replace the water lines.
Right.
It's like, why don't we just start replacing the water lines?
So how about you have these companies, right, that come in, do work for us, rob us millions of dollars,
Oh, yes.
and then they go bankrupt.
Oh yeah,
know.
Cardi's.
Cardi's.
I didn't say that. These guys.
There was something with that.
Oh,
in
we heard the
Gina,
whole-
right? We learned a little.
Oh
bit
yeah,
about that,
Gina,
didn't we?
and they had and there was actually a deal on the way out of that deal. They're not held responsible for anything that had been done to that point.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Gina
total.
supposedly signed
Yeah,
off on that.
yes.
So my
And they got a $5 million payout for it.
opponent, right, do nothing Lawson.
Yep.
They're letting the clock run out. Statute of limitation is called for you people at home. And that was your spring. AJ, that's a technical thing. So what they do is they have these companies come in.
break shit.
I mean, look, right? Busting this shit up. And I'm only drinking Diet Coke. But no, they come in. For years, we were paying them in $195 to repair the bridge, fix the bridge. You know what they were doing? They were down eating animal crackers.
No, we had the guy on. It was a Xerox copy of the report
Yes.
every year.
Every year.
4 years of Xerox copies.
But they
Same
changed
spelling
it.
mistakes.
Same
everything.
spelling mistakes,
dates,
same summary.
Different names.
Same
different guys
summary
did it. Yeah,
Cover
with
same
the
name.
name.
structural, same cover page of the structural report, same exact lingo for 4 years. And that was because he picked up on it. In the beginning, he saw the 4 different reports. He's like, what the hell's going on? Boop. Next day, DOT eliminated all that and put this shit in there.
But look what they're doing to us. Red light cameras, speed
yes.
cameras.
Yeah, the flock cameras.
The
ones
flock
that take
cameras.
pictures.
Now they want to come out with the new one if you're speeding with the drone above. You know, they just keep reaching our pocket. They raise the cigarette tax, which I'm against cigarettes, but you know, you name anything that
Probably
your
alcohol, too,
license,
right?
your license plates, raise, and we get screwed. Water, sewer, you know,
Getting whacked every step of the way.
They take sports out of schools because they don't have the money, you know, for certain cities and towns.
Oh.
So take the sports out, and then the parents got to pay. I
Mind boggles
remember, yeah, right. I remember as a kid, too. Right? We always had sports in schools. The parents had to pay. How many parents won't let their kids play sports because the parents just don't have the extra money?
Yeah, 100%.
Why? Because when you're paying $309,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
But I'm a taxpayer in a town. Like the sports should be included in my freaking taxpayer
Yeah.
money. So it's like, you know how many text messages I've had in the last 2 weeks? Kids looking for $50 here and there to buy uniforms, to buy this, to buy that, for their public school sports team.
Relying on
And I'm
private
like,
businesses
Yeah,
to pick up
and
the
I'm like,
difference.
what? Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because, you know, I always support all of them.
I
for
know
the
you
most
do.
part, but it's like, at one point, I almost wanted to just cut it off and be like, no, push it back on these assholes because you got an $85 million budget. You can't come up with a couple grand for uniforms over here, over there. You could probably $50,000 cover all the sports.
All
in
the
the school.
legal fees that the high school's been paying this year would easily pick that up if they didn't
Oh,
have all those
yeah,
freaking
it's
attorneys at
ridiculous.
your meetings.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
So, and again, I know the real struggles. And when I tell you to feed 5 kids, even though they're older, they're at home. You know, one of my son Cameron, he's 25 years old. He lives in one of my apartments. So for $600 a month, I give him electric, gas,
Yeah.
internet, right?
Yep.
That's
You name it, he's
one
got
in a
it.
million. Huh?
And he's paying me $600 because he needs to understand that, you know.
He's gotta-
yes.
Yeah.
Not everything's free.
Oh, he's gonna feel it a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably losing money on that.
Oh, no, I'm losing money. I'm losing I'm losing. But let me tell you what he does.
Covering the
So
cable.
he's going to school full time, right? 5
Is he
days.
in school, college? He's at college.
No, my brother was Rhode Coogan Plumbing Heating.
Oh, cool.
My brother was in the Navy. My brother come out, struggled his whole life. He's actually doing very well. He built a big company. He's got a bunch of workers. He got billboards.
Oh, wow.
He's got his name on a van. So Rhode Coogan Plumbing and Heating. That's a plug, AJ. Don't cut that out.
The phone number is.
Yeah. So my son Cameron, who goes to school, he's going to. I don't want to give them a plug.
Why
So
not?
he goes to HVAC school for heat and air condition. He leaves the house in the morning, gets out about 4 o'clock. He gets out of school. He works for AAA. He's a road supervisor. Sounds really important.
That's a lot of work, though. He goes to school and has a full-time job.
He goes to school full time and he works full time.
Yeah.
So my kids are all workers.
Yeah.
So I embedded that into them. You have to work. So again, he works in the morning and he gets home about 12:30. Gets up, does it all over again, because he got to get his 40 hours
Nice
in.
to be young. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
So,
I couldn't do that.
I understand life. My opponent does not.
Right. You had a real life experience to how you got to where you are right now.
Well, you know what
She-
it takes.
And to raise 5 boys,
Right.
you know, my ex-wife last summer was sitting on the stairs. Used to be called the stoop, AJ, in case you didn't know. So we're sitting on the stairs and we're just talking with each other, and she says, and she brought up, she says, not one parent in the neighborhood called and said, hey, your kid's a troublemaker. Never had a teacher call, said your kid's a troublemaker. Never had a guidance counselor, never had the principal. We've never had the cops at our house. So to raise 5 boys,
They're going to be great citizens. Yep.
Yeah, you have to really have a handle on life. It's not easy. We've been through some tough times with the kids, but being good parents is important.
Consistency.
And going back to being pro-gun, right? People are like, oh, you're pro-gun. Yeah, I have 5 boys, never had a problem. We taught them education. Don't touch the gun. Have it locked up.
Educate them on it.
As they're little, hide it up in the top. Put it in the safe. Combination digital safe. If you can't protect your home and your family, look at the 2 guys, the convicts that got out about 3 years ago in Connecticut. They got the 2 daughters and the wife. You guys remember that story?
Yeah, I remember that.
yes.
Yeah.
And those people couldn't defend themselves.
They escaped convicts or
Yeah,
something?
escaped
or other?
convicts.
Yeah.
They beat the mother to death, the daughter to death, then they birthed them. Remember that? One daughter got away.
Burnt the house down or something.
Right, the house down.
Yeah.
So if you can't protect your family or your own home, and you get women who work in tough neighborhoods or even anywhere today, you could get shot.
Oh, yeah.
How do you defend yourself? To take that right away from a woman and to tell her she needs to have $1 million insurance,
I don't even understand
you
that.
can't.
It's insane.
So my fiance, she's going actually for a permit.
Oh,
She's
good.
going through the process. I have mine. I've had mine since 1991.
Wow.
And when you want to protect yourself against a bad guy, and you can't, what do? So I had my sister-in-law. She actually passed away. She was raped in the city of Providence.
Oh,
in between,
man.
the guy held her down. I think it was the post office. I don't remember. It was about 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
She got held down, raped. She ended up getting pregnant.
Oh, no.
She ended up getting pregnant. She committed suicide over it.
Oh.
So, but she always said, if I had a gun, I would have shot her.
Can't end on that note. Jesus.
So,
No, happy note. We'll find a happy
but,
note.
But you're right. But even it's not even the person that it's not even her having a gun might not have been what saved her. Might have been somebody within screaming distance that heard it that came in. I mean, if you've got, I don't know the size of the guy, but if you've got an intimidating guy that's committing a crime, and you don't have a gun, people might just walk the fuck away and none of my business. Let me walk away. But a guy with a gun like me, I mean, I would intervene either way. But if I had a gun, I'd intervene in a group would be about that big. And I'd be changing the man.
And it doesn't matter even if you don't have a gun, right? How about the guy in the mall up in down deep in Fairhaven? He went out stabbing people in the mall, killed a school teacher.
Yes.
You don't need a gun with
Silver
people.
Spring, right? Silver Spring, was that the Silver Spring Mall?
Was it
Silver
Connecticut?
Silver Gallery.
Silver City Gallery.
Yeah, I think.
Silver City, yeah.
And don't hold me to it, people. I mean, I'm only so smart, right? But he went around stabbing people like it was nothing. So it doesn't matter whether you have a gun or a knife or whatever. You need to protect yourself if that's what you choose. You know, I want that option, and
Yeah, I
it's,
want that option.
it's my
100%.
right to protect
my right.
myself, my family, my home, and sometimes I don't carry my gun.
And listen,
Sometimes I do.
one of the most telling things is the fact that they write themselves exclusions into these bills.
Oh, yes.
so they can.
Oh
have
yeah, the legislators, right?
Yeah, and then they want to, they write these exclusions in where that doesn't apply to them.
I think
So-
they just do
not
that
working with
last
the
year
constituents.
with the tinted windows.
Oh, did they?
Did they?
Don't hold me to, but I think I think law enforcement should have it. Certain people should definitely have it, but and it shouldn't be too dark because I'm a motorcycle rider as well, and if the windows are tinted and it's too dark out, but it goes back to the legislators. They put certain provisions in there where they can have this and they can have that.
Correct.
It's kind of like the people at TSA, right? Sheldon Whitehouse is getting paid, everybody's getting paid, and the people at TSA are not. How come they don't vote on not getting paid when you have a government shutdown? Nobody gets paid. Their ass will be at that table working
kidding.
because they want that
100%.
check,
No
right?
kidding.
100%.
Take that away.
No kidding.
Why is it that the people at TSA and other
DHS.
DHS, oh no, they're not getting paid, government shutdown, and the Republicans and the Democrats blame each other? Listen, nobody gets paid.
It gets solved a lot more quickly
Right.
for sure.
So if my kids acted up, everybody's in trouble.
Right.
You do good,
Yep.
everybody's
in good
going to
shape.
benefit from
We're
it.
gonna have a party.
So I just gave East Bronx Central Little League, I gave them a personal check for $2,500.
Wow.
Not a business check. It's not a write-off.
Right.
My personal account. Show anybody the check. The East Bronx Central Little League called me up. They says, "Oh, we're hurting this and that." I said, "What do you need?" So they told me the number, $2,500. We need someone to sponsor the team, sponsor this, and sponsor the snack shack. So I said, "No problem. Here's a check for $2,500."
Wow.
Because you know what? I grew up playing baseball. Yeah, my kids play baseball, play football. I love soccer. It's like the world's getting lost in all the dumb shit out there.
Yes, they are.
What's important?
Dumb shit.
Kids. So my kids, right? Again, old cool kid. And one of the things that they all knew was you had to play one sport, and you had to have a job after school. So all my kids either work pumping gas, they work Stop and Shop, Shaw's. After high school, when you get out of high school, you're 14, you work at papers. They were all hard workers. And my son Cameron, like I said to you, my son Ashton, he's a driller, and he has his own landscaping company. My son Sebastian, he works with mentally disabled adults. Sometimes they ask him to stay over because that's another. The first thing to get cut and
Yeah,
they
the
stay
mental
around
health.
is mental health.
Yep.
Those people have no money and a lot of brain injuries. The guys like you and I get in a car accident, we have no one to take care of us. So my ex-wife and my son Sebastian, my middle son, they take care of mentally disabled adults. My son London, who's in the Navy, he's a Navy cop.
really? Cool.
Yeah, he's in the Navy cop. He's on the water. He's gonna come out and be hopefully either Rhode Island or he really is leaning towards Connecticut State Police. My son Blaze, who's finishing up LaSalle.
Blaze, that's a good name.
Blaze, yeah, spelled like the fireball. I mean, I struggle to pay for him to go to private school because that's what he wants. He's coming out. I told you about the $28,000. He wants to be an FBI agent. So I want to thank you guys for having me here. It was a great time, even though it's my birthday. These guys.
Happy birthday. Happy
His
birthday.
arm to get him in on his
Hey,
birthday.
April 14th.
I appreciate you coming out.
And but no, this and listen, this is important. My kids understood. They said, look, we were supposed to go to dinner, but I said this is important because we have to get the word out. You gotta get out, vote in the primary, whether it's for me or against me. To me, I feel like you guys asked me to come here so people understand and get the vote out. I'm on Facebook on the Coogan Mr. EP. I don't have all like the other stuff because I carry 3 phones. So it's, I've been on other podcasts. I'm also the guy. If you watch NBC Dateline, did you guys see that?
Yes.
I helped the FBI catch a kid that was raping women, faked his identity, faked his death.
Oh, it is.
Nico Salaverdian. So
No way.
I'm on Peacock. I'm on National Geographic.
Yeah.
I'm on HBO.
You followed somebody too, with something with a bank robbery or something.
Oh, I caught
right?
a bit. Yeah, so in 2000.
He did.
Holy
He did.
shit.
2000. And keep
Really?
keep coming with a 45,
Is
right?
this Bruce Wayne we got here?
Keep come in Baker, right? And stuck a gun in all our faces. When he ran out the door, I chased him down. I had a Toyota Sequoia. He was
Followed him or something.
He was on a bicycle, and people laugh. Oh, bicycle, huh? Kid was smart. FBI couldn't catch this kid. They couldn't thank me enough. He robbed several banks. He gets on a bicycle, but parked his car a few streets over, and he
Oh,
would
he
cut
did it too.
through streets.
knew
So
where you were.
I chased him down. I was on the phone with 911. I feel bad. I ran over the lady's hedges. The other lady's. He went through
that bad, though.
Hey, he went through the street, and he was a little narrow thing in the hedges. I ran those over, and then the fence on the other side I ran over. I was on the phone the whole time with the police. They caught him. He got 21 years in federal prison.
Oh,
kidding.
good stuff.
They
Yeah.
couldn't catch him. I also pulled a kid out of a burning building, John Rebello, 1989.
Wow.
Yeah, the old Warren Hotel fire was engulfed in flames, and I said to the two cops, I said, hey, there's a guy stuck up there, and everybody's screaming. I said, come on, I'll boost you up. Now, I'm a fat kid, right? They're like, you go, you'll light it. They boosted me up. His name was John Rebello, not to be confused with Rebellos from Your Home, no relation. I pulled that guy out of a fire. Another kid in front of the fish co, we come off the old off-ramp in a Volkswagen Bug, two kids, hit the wrought iron railing, flipped over, landed on the hood. One kid got out, the other kid was in the car.
Yikes.
I dove in, pulled that kid out, unbuckled him. That was some it tasted like oil. You ever taste the Browns River?
Oh, no.
I have not, but
Oh, it tastes
can
like
imagine.
it tastes like straight oil, like diesel.
shit.
So I pulled that kid out. But again, I'm a common sense guy. If I see something
And a
that's wrong,
superhero, apparently.
no, but if it's wrong, it's wrong.
And you're in the right. You were in the right place at the
agree.
right time
Right.
for as far as those kids were concerned.
Right.
Those people were concerned.
So if I'm up the state house, if I'm lucky enough to get up the state house,
That's exactly
I'm a
how you're
common
gonna-
sense guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
If it's
100%.
wrong, it's wrong.
Common sense.
I
Ain't too
started-
common anymore.
Right. I started this podcast where I'd vote against a speaker, John Howard. I'll tell you.
Yep.
Yeah, I voted. If I said speak, I can't vote for that. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So if you want the right people up there, you got to figure out who the candidates are, what they stand for, because some people can't get the message out either. It's hard. I'm up against the Senate president, and I depleted her account, and now she's got $285,000 now.
no kidding. That's what her war chest is right
yeah,
now. Holy
yeah. And the
mackerels.
speaker's got $4 million, but he's going to be a judge, as we all know,
Yep.
and he's going to go right up to the top.
We heard
right?
that today.
He's,
yeah.
he's supposed to go right to the top in the judgeship. I
Where's
don't
this
know-
$4 million gonna go?
Well, so
Well, he's gonna help he's gonna help other people.
yeah, so when you run for office and you get something like 4 million or 100,000, most people don't know this. You could either give it to charity,
Yeah. Oh,
give
really?
give it back to where it came from, or another candidate. So, but if that's on a state level, if you go for Congress or president, you can't take the 4 million
And
on the
go
federal
there.
level.
No.
Yeah, it's
You
got
have
to
to
stay
stay at the
behind.
state level kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got to stay in the state. You can't take it with you. So let's say Shakachi was going to run for president. He cannot use the 4 million. And why the hell does a Speaker of the House have $4 million?
That's insane.
And listen, I like Shakachi. I like him.
Shitload of money.
But $4 million?
Yeah.
I mean, would
That's
you
it.
cure
And there's no
cancer?
limit. There's
Would
no
you cure
limit. He can
cancer?
give.
Like, why should you get? Why are people giving you $4 million?
They were hoping for.
Why
something.
is my opponent? I depleted her money. She's over $250,000 now.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the longer she's there, the more she's gonna get. So wake up at home, get off your ass, go vote. If you don't like me, I don't care. If you want the truth, I mean it. If
We
you
like him.
If you want the truth, I'm the guy. If you don't want to hear it, no problem. But
All right,
please
well,
go out and vote.
Perfect. Thanks.
Get
for
out,
coming.
vote.
So, Jason, just give us a little bit about the liking part. And
No, we
everything
need
like that.
we need everyone to go and
Subscribers
like
and
and
everything,
subscribe again. If you were subscribed, go back on and subscribe again. We're gonna hammer these. We're gonna
Where do you go and like and subscribe?
Cumberland Unfiltered podcast on YouTube?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get you.
We're going to give you a copy of this.
copy of this, and you must be on like the local East Providence Facebook page
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So just share it with them. You know, there are going to be a couple of clips, 30-second clips. One of them is going to describe how you're a friggin' Batman. Obviously, yeah, obviously, you know, and you know, you can share those with whoever you want. So the problem is a lot of these town Facebook, they have gatekeepers that ask, have you ever lived in East Providence? Do you have a business in East Providence? You say no, you can't get on. So you gotta either get on there and share it yourself, or find somebody to share it on the East Providence, you know, the school websites and the town websites and you know whatever.
Clear Line Productions. Clear Signal Productions. Yeah.
Clear
So
Signal
thank-
Productions. I don't know if you might have heard tonight. The guy's name is AJ. AJ doesn't mind profanity. We crossed that bridge. Doesn't mind pigeon shit, apparently, either. No, pigeon shit is a go. So yeah, come on Unfiltered Podcast at YouTube, come on Unfiltered Podcast Instagram, come on Unfiltered Podcast on Facebook. Our numbers on Instagram are through the roof, but we have to rebuild our YouTube numbers because the account got deleted, so we have to rebuild that.
Start all over.
So if you have not resubscribed, please go back on and resubscribe. I am trying to build those numbers up one text at a time.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So
Get
like
back
the
on
elephant, right?
And one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.